Hey guys, it's Monica at Academic Phoenix Plus, and welcome back. We are almost getting there with the character when it comes to the controller. So last time we did the hands. This time we're going to be focusing on the head. So we can, and then of course combining it all together. All right, what we want to do is work on the neck next. So let's go ahead and go to the side view. We're going to click on the top of the spine. Then we're going to click in the middle of the neck. Another one for the jaw. And then all the way to the top. So this is going to be the neck control. Might as well label it now. And this is going to be the jaw. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, J&T, joint. Got ahead of myself. Joint. And this is going to be the top head. Cool. Okay, now that we have that, let's go ahead and combine the spine with everything else. So let's select the shoulder, shift select the spine 6, and then hit parent. Then select the other one, do the same thing, parent. And if you'll notice, if I try to rotate the spine, the arms aren't going to go with it. They're stuck because hopefully you remember this from a previous tutorial. We actually, there's a random joint here, delete. We're going to actually select the controller, shift select the other control up here, and then click P, which I think it's a little confusing that this is called the shoulder. Actually, this should be the shoulder, and this is going to be called the left arm. And okay, select this one, click the letter P, and I think this one should already be parented. So now if I rotate this, the arms are going to go with it, which is exactly what we want, and also the neck as well, which is great. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and give her a jaw. So again, we're going to go to the front view or the side view, click on the joint. We're going to click on the jaw, and then this is going to be like the jaw tip. So enter. I think that's good. Cool. Okay, so we just need a simple curve for the neck. So let's go ahead and create a circle, and I'm going to snap it up here. So again, you want to make sure that center pivot is actually at the center of the joint. So now that I did that, let's go ahead and delete the history for use of transformations, and this is going to be the neck control. And while we're at it, we might as well go ahead and create a head control. So I'm going to duplicate the neck. Don't worry, I'm going to change it. And I'm going to snap it at the top. And this is where you can have a little bit of fun. You guys can do just about anything to make sure. The key again is to make sure that people recognize that this is a head control. So I can actually bring it down like this, almost like a crown. So just to be a little bit different. And let me turn off the joint part so I can select this and lift it up so it's nearer. And maybe this side, actually both sides maybe can be a little lower. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe not. So some people like to put it there. Some people like to some people sometimes make a little halo around the head like that. So it's really up to you. Well, not like that, but something that goes around the head like this. So again, it's going to be easy to select when you're trying to animate. That's what it's all about. So I might actually do that. And again, the pivot is actually at the top. So again, you just want to make sure it's at the center of this joint. There he goes. I'm going to move it forward again. Make sure that it kind of aligns with everything. Looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and delete the history, freeze the transformation. I am not centering the pivot because the pivot has to remain at the top of the joint. And actually, I messed up. The pivot point should be down here at the bottom. It should be here. So holding down V, D, if you hold down D, move the pivot, V, I can middle mouse and snap it. And I'm trying to put it at this joint, because that's actually the one that's going to move the head. This one here. This one's going to move the head. This one's going to move the neck, and this one moves the head. Cool. So I think this neck is a little too high. Let's go ahead and move these down here. Probably give us a better rotation. Then I'm going to move that pivot point again to the center of the joint, which I think I did. Good. Delete the history. I'm sorry, freeze the transformation. You can delete the history for the sake of it. Let's relabel this. And let's call this the jaw tip. Not sure why it didn't stick last time, but let's go ahead and joint. So that probably means this one is mislabeled. So head joint. All right, let's go ahead and select the controller on the joint, do a constraint parent. So that means that this will move the head. Great. And we're going to grab the neck and the neck joint, do a G, and that's going to move it too. Of course, we need to make sure that this controller follows that one. So parent those. And there we go. We've got a neck. We've got a head. And everything is attached except for the neck. All right, so let's grab the neck, shift select the shoulders, click P. And now everything should follow along. You can move the arms individually, and you can select the spine and everything else. And that is how you create a simple rig. Now that we have that done, everything is basically ready to be binded, but I still want to clean up a little bit of these controllers because there's a lot to see here, and this might be, you can get into a lot of trouble. So, for example, the head control, we really don't want it to scale, right? And it doesn't do anything, nor do we want them to animate us to accidentally reveal, like do something like this, like hide the controller. Would that be terrible? So we're going to grab Scale X, the scale and the visibility, right click, lock and hide selected. And to be honest, a lot of these things actually don't need the visibility or the scale. None of these actually require scale. So I'm going to select basically almost all the controllers. And same thing, select this, right click, lock and hide selected. So we still want rotation. And actually, let's talk about that for a second. Do we want the arms to move like that? We don't. This is actually dedicated to just revolving. So we're going to select all of these three, and we're going to get rid of translate. So right click on translate, lock and hide selected. Same thing here. These three, lock and hide selected. Cool. So for this one, we probably could use a little bit of translate. I'm a little hesitant about having translate on the spine, but if you wanted somebody to make a little bit like straighter, I guess you could. So we could leave those there. The hip, same thing. We do want rotate and translate. For this one, we actually don't need rotate. We don't need scale or visibility, just translate. So lock and hide selected. So now they can only be moved. And if you try to rotate, it'll lock you out. And for the foot, these guys are actually, we actually do want them to rotate, but we don't want them to scale or to hide them. So same story, lock and hide selected. Cool. All right, so that's a little bit of that cleanup that I wanted to make sure we did. This joint is so high. I'm going to bring it down. Whee. All right, I think she's looking pretty good. So a little bit more just to kind of make this tutorial worth it for you guys, let's go ahead and select these attributes. And down here, if you look at the shape of the wrist, there's something called object display, and there's something called drawing override. And I'm going to enable the overdrive, and the reason why is because I can actually change the color of something in this arm. So for example, left can actually be represented as blue, so this type of blue, or some people like to make them like pink, something like that. So what you can do is actually enable override and change the colors of these objects to represent left and right. So if I want to choose pink, for example, I have to make sure that everything that is on the left side is in fact pink, because people are going to be able to define it that way. And the purpose for that is that in case I am flipped upside down or something's going on, I know very quickly, the animator knows very quickly where the left side and the right side is. So usually with red, or on the right side, I like to put on red just because it's, it's kind of clear. R for red. Right for red. Now colors to avoid would be green, because it looks like it's selected, so avoid that color, and also white, because if you select this one and another one or a third one, they can turn white. So you want to make sure that you see how everything's turned white? You want to make sure that you don't choose white. So just keep that in mind, that you might want to just keep it at default. There you go. Well, since I'm choosing saturated colors, now I'm thinking I should do blue. Where is the blue? There we go. So don't forget the bottom. So enable override. Let's grab a blue and enable override, and this one's going to be right red. Cool. Oops, don't forget this one too. Cool. Now for the center, it's really up to you what colors you want to choose. Some people like, there's a bunch of colors. You can choose anything you want. So maybe pink would be appropriate for this character. Or maybe a dark purple. Doesn't make too much of a difference. And that just makes it a little bit unique. So now what we've done is locked and hid a lot of the attributes that we don't want the animators to affect. We've also color coded it so we know the difference. Animators quickly can tell the difference between left and right. And we've also done the neck and head very quickly. So we're going to work on the feet next, so we can actually do a rotate and compress and do a foot roll and things like that. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys how to create blend shapes, which is going to give the character expressions. We've gone a long ways. We still have a little bit more to go, but hopefully you found this helpful and interesting. Again, this is a very simple rig. We can do this relatively quickly, and hopefully you guys you're enjoying the tutorial on how to create a simple rig. So this should be like a little bit of an introduction on how to create your own rigs, and that way you can create any character that you want, and you can animate them and bring them to life. Thank you again for watching and listening. Let me know if you guys have any comments or questions below. And of course, please subscribe to my channel and also click on that little bell so that you don't miss any type of updates for my channel. Take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. You can find some free tutorials, free ebooks, and also free downloads. Things that you really can't find in YouTube. So take a look at academicphoenixplus.com and sign up for my newsletter while you're at it. Thank you for the support. Thanks for watching. Keep creating, and I will see you next time.